Hello and welcome to the Flipping and Wholesaling Houses in New York show. I am Michael Pinter, where I teach you how to start flipping or wholesaling houses. And if you're already doing it, how to grow your business. I am in Israel now visiting my son. And I'm in a really nice place. Let me take a look here. I'm right by the ocean in Herzliya. It's really good stuff. So I wanted to go through the ups and downs of a recent deal that I closed. Someone contacted me that I didn't know and said they might have a deal. When we get into the nitty gritty of it, it sounded like a pretty strong deal. It had its quirks. The issue was that comes with a tenant that is not paying any rent. I deal with those all the time, and the situation was that married couple, one spouse died, and no one was taking care of the property. No one was collecting rent. A long story, and I think we were getting it for around $120,000. A house in where the hell was it? I forgot the city, but small house, comes with a tenant, and it's worth maybe 400. So someone's got to take on the burden of dealing with the tenant, but still seemed like a good deal. As the deal progresses and goes on, I find out that the couple were not married when the spouse died. So just a little bit of title, and I'm not an attorney, but if a couple that are married to each other in New York State die, the spouse inherits the other spouse, no problem. You don't even need a will. It's easy to take care of. But if the couple are not married, then if the spouse who died had heirs, then you got a problem, because those heirs have rights to the property. So after digging through this, we find out that they were divorced for like 30 years. He didn't even know where she was, and then she died. So that's a problem, right? Because if she has any heirs, it's a problem. If they took title as a married couple, I look at the deed and they took title. So I thought the deal was dead. They took title as joint tenants. I never remember the tenants of the rights of survivorship or joint tenants. They took it as joint tenants. Joint tenants means that it's almost like they're still married. One dies, the other one inherits them. So I was in luck. So now we had a deal again. Great. Then became a problem. We could not find a death certificate. Title company needed to know that she was dead, and we didn't know where she died. We had to literally paid for somebody to fly down to I think it was Charleston, South Carolina, because we thought that she was dead there, and then she found out that she didn't die there. She died somewhere in New York, but they told us where. And then we got the death certificate, but it took a long time. It was a lot of months. It was not easy, but it was a strong deal. Also, then we found out in the middle that it was being wholesaled to us. We had to triple close it, so we had to find attorneys to represent all these parties who didn't have attorneys. The guy that sent it was from Louisiana, was completely unaware of how things work in New York, really thought things would close quicker, was getting very upset. But you got to sort of get used to the slow pace of things in New York. So the deal was great. Then I thought the deal was dead. Then I thought the deal was great. Then I thought the deal was dead. In the end, it was a good deal. I think we ended up. I think we made $60,000 or $70,000 that we split. So it was a great deal in the end. But it was a lot of ups and downs, and there are always a lot of ups and downs. I've been through the ups and downs with you before. Right. The title of this one is the ups and downs of a recent deal I closed. But there's a lot of ups and downs, and sometimes it stays down. Sometimes there's a problem, and the deal can't recover from it. Right. That is part of the business, right? Your goal when you build a business is to have enough deals in your pipeline that if a deal dies, you're not going to cry over it, and it's not going to affect you in a significant way. So you never count your money on any of these deals until they close. But I went through the up and down story on the channel about like the craziest deal ever that I had, which was, just to reiterate, I had a guy who was selling me 7 properties, and 5 of them were in one city, and 1, 2, 3, 4 of them were sort of contiguous. 3 were really right next to each other. One of them was sort of around the corner, but it met. And I brought and it was in a commercial zone, so I brought the survey and the deal to this guy who does commercial property, and he goes, and I was buying them for let's say $750, and this guy's like, oh, you can sell these properties for like $2 million. I'm like, wow. That's awesome, right? I'm going to just wholesale them out and make $1 million on wholesale deals. That's awesome. He goes, should I check one thing? Then, so I'm like, I'm already, practicing my interview for Steve Trang, how I made $1 million on one deal. And then the guy calls up, he goes, yeah, it's too small, it's not going to work. So it's zero. So I thought the deal was dead, not even going to go into it, forget it. But then I realized maybe, because there was 7 properties, maybe these 5 properties have value unto themselves. 2 of them were iffy. I'm sorry, I had one number for the whole portfolio of 7 properties, but I'm like, if I can ascribe a value of this a little less to the 5 properties, maybe I can wholesale them to one buyer, and then the other 2 properties I'll break even on or something like that. So and that's really how it worked. I got this 5 properties for $750, and I wholesaled them out for $975. So it's a $225,000 deal, but I had to sort of double close because the other 2 properties, I ended up making like $185,000. Best deal I ever did on that deal. So that was, that's the roller coaster ride that we go on. And it could have, just as easy, and they could have not found the buyer, and the deal would have been dead. So you have to sort of get used to those things. You're trying to make things happen. You have to take as many opportunities as possible. You have to build up over time a buyer's list that where you can go to with crazy things like this. Right, people that are going to take occupied properties, or people that are going to take, 5 houses in one city. That by the way, those were all occupied too. Those were a mess and a half. But that's what you got to do. You got to build up a reputation. You got to build up a deal flow. You got to build up private money lenders. You got to build up these things. They all take time. But there's a lot of roller coastering in this business where you're on a high, and then something happens that looks like it's going to kill you, and then you sort of resurrect it from the dead, and maybe it works, and then maybe it doesn't work at the end. So that's the basic gist of the deal that closed recently. Where was it? I think it was in Babylon. But that is what I got for today. So I'm 7 hours ahead, so Sabbath is going to start here soon. That's why I'm recording this early. But it'll be posted later by somebody. But thank you for watching. I hope this was helpful. If you're interested in all the ways I can help you, go to howtoflipnewyork.com or learntoflipandwholesale.com. Please keep the comments coming. I post 5 times a week. I don't always know what to say. This did not come from a comment, but I have a bunch of comments that are helping me think of things that can help you. I'm trying to help, so you can ask any question. It does not have to be about the video you're watching. And if it's something simple, I'll just reply with an answer. If it's something that I've covered recently, I'll send you a link to a video or videos on it. And if it's something brand new or something I haven't covered in a long time, I will do a new video on it. So thank you very, very much for watching.